Thank you for your help earlier.
Think nothing of it. We walk the same path now. And together, we shall bring down Gustadolf.
It seems we've managed to dispel any doubts you had in us.
I do not know what happened in the mines that day, but your words and Gustadolf's do not align. And I cannot bring myself to believe that Gustadolf did not have a hand in Dragan's death. He has always been willing to do whatever necessary to see his ambitions through.
Indeed.
We've investigated the spy's quarters. It appears he was working for Sikris.
And his forces are directly under the Archduke's command, meaning the man behind the curtain is without a doubt Gustadolf.
Oh, I thought he was lying. I don't know why.
This may be yet another ploy to destroy me, just like my son's murder.
Lord Dragan was vital in our plans for peace.
Yet he did not bother to hide his ambition before Gustadolf. Perhaps he inherited that senseless pride from me, the child of a concubine. What a fool I am, bringing death upon my own son.
Uncle.
That's a bit of a stretch.
But no matter how I despair, my son will not return. So I must fulfill his wishes in his stead.
Agreed. I must defeat Gustadolf for my family.
I shall fight by your side.
Let's go.
Take this as repayment for the cargo.
This is far too much, Lord Svarog.
The remainder is for your army. Use it when the time comes.
We cannot thank you enough.
Wow.
These tough times are not over yet. We could not win against Gustadolf if we fought him now.
Indeed. But if we can learn about what he's plotting, we may stand a chance.
I will continue to be vigilant. May our houses grow ever stronger until then.
Don't you worry.
Serenoa delivers the salt to Svarog, a powerful minister of Esfrost who secretly wishes for Gustadolf's defeat. After learning of Roland's identity, Svarog swears to fight beside House Wolffort to bring down their common enemy. Gustadolf's power grows greater by the day, but House Wolffort is not idle in the meantime. They look to strengthen their own forces, slowly but surely. After seeing the illicit salt to Esfrost, Serenoa makes haste to Hyzant. The Holy One has invited both them and Sorsley End to the palace.
That's a little concerning. The voice that calls us. Is this the first part 3 to a chapter we've gotten?
Lord Serenoa Wolffort, we are pleased to have you in the capital.
Well met. Are you attendant to the Holy One?
I do have that honor, yes. I am afraid preparations for your audience are still underway. Pray wait a while longer.
Very well. There is no rush.
Your patience is appreciated. We shall find you once we are ready.
We should take this chance to see the city.
We've already been here,
Still do
though.
not know why we were summoned. Rumors, fickle as they may be, may help us steel ourselves for what is ahead.
Okay, that's fair.
Somehow, I doubt that the commoners are privy to the thoughts of the goddess.
Still, it would do us well to acquaint ourselves with her subjects.
For the sake of our budding relationship with Hyzant, if nothing else.
I agree. Then shall we split up to cover the most ground?
I have a mind to visit the source.
As you wish.
Is that smart?
Once we have finished, let us return here to share what we have learned.
I'm not sure that's a good idea. I mean, I understand why, but I don't think you should.
This country is quite pleasant, isn't it? Not a dour face in sight. Quite the opposite, in fact. To see their smiles, you would think that inequity, envy, and jealousy were things of fairy tales.
A well-governed populace is a happy populace. Or so they say.
Just an example we could learn from, methinks.
If I may speak plainly, I find it somewhat unsettling.
I've kind of always thought that since we came here.
Unsettling. How so?
Smiles do not always show joy. Is it truly possible to sate the wishes of every woman and man?
Are you implying something nefarious is behind all this?
I mean, based off what we've seen, they just kind of kick out anyone who disagrees with them, you know? So you have to either agree with them or pretend to if you want to stay here.
Not necessarily. However, I was taught that for every laugh, somewhere a tear is shed. This country was not built without its share of sacrifice. Of that, I am certain.
I understand your hesitation, Anna, but I think it is unfounded. A country who cares for its citizens is cared for in turn. It needn't be any more complex than that.
I mean, sure, but I think Anna does have a point.
So, did you discover aught of value?
We did. The rumor on everyone's lips is that Minister Sorsley has brought House Wolfort to heel.
News travels faster than I would expect. That may very well be the reason for our audience.
If so, then the time may soon be upon us to decide if we are loyal to Hyzant or otherwise.
I mean, there's no reason to be directly opposed to him.
I will wander the city a little longer. I shall return soon.
It's as we feared, milady. None but Hyzantians can enter the source.
I see. I would have liked to see where my mother was raised, and where she spent her final days.
Her final days? She died here?
I imagine.
Many years ago. I know little else of the circumstances of her passing.
I thought she escaped this thrice-forsaken place.
She did. She fled during the chaos of a Rosellan uprising in the midst of the Salt Iron War. It was then that she met my father, the former Archduke. And from their union, I was born, a daughter of Esfrost.
Then how'd she... No. Was she captured?
In a way, yes. Esfrost was forced to surrender her, or take responsibility for the war's outbreak. And then, well...
What a damned farce.
I was lonely and heartbroken, but the pendant she left me shone the way through my darkest days.
Can't tell you how sorry I am.
And dark days there were. Esfrost was her home, but there were those who would not let her forget her ancestry. That she was able to ignore her detractors speaks to the strength of her character. That she excelled in her studies does even more so.
You flatter me, Gila.
I would never presume to do such a thing.
My lord, I kept your better half safe for you.
Thank you, Eridor. Did you learn aught of interest?
We did. It seems all members of the Saintly Seven have gathered at the palace.
All of them? Could that have something to do with us?
Perhaps, though it certainly bodes ill. In any case, it is clear that we are expected to honor the Hierophant's request for an audience.
Demand may be a better word to use.
Then perhaps we should return before the attendant comes to seek us out.
Alrighty then. Okay. That got a bit heavy.
House Wolford has not a single heroic deed to their name, yet the Hierophant grants them audience
What do you mean, not a single heroic deed?
as if they are worthy to stand by my side before the Holy One. What is the meaning of this?
Aside from your salt deal, we've done nothing but heroic deeds. How dare you?
Perhaps there is no need to take offense. Perhaps you are being honored. You did bring a formidable ally into the flock, after all.
That is a curious interpretation.
The others in the Order are breathless with jealousy at your achievement. They have spoke of naught else since the news arrived.
Have we met this Tenebris guy before?
'Twas no great feat. The Wolforts were lost, sniveling, begging for a hand to guide them. The others needn't know that, however.
Soon you will have the ear of the goddess. You will be the envy of Hyzant.
It is well past time for that decrepit Edor to relinquish his position.
The future belongs to House End.
At last. I shall see that you have a place in it, Tenebris.
Tenebris, not Tenebris.
What a gullible fool.
Can I just call him Keith instead? Alrighty then. Things are not gonna end well for House End. Or Sorcesley, probably.
I, Sorcesley End, have brought Serenoa Wolfort to answer the summons of the Holy One.
I'm really not sure if this is gonna end well for us.
Very good. Then let us begin forthwith. In the name of the Holy One and the Goddess, I shall begin her inquiry into the misappropriation of our nation's salt.
I knew it'd come to this. As soon as we were asked to come here, you know?
Huh? An inquiry?
Serenoa Wolfort shall be questioned first. Sorcesley End stands accused of forsaking the goddess's blessing, of abusing his station to indulge his own insatiable appetites.
I wonder, has Sorcesley been doing this for a while, and just most recently he made Wolfort an accomplice? Or is this the first time he's done this illicit salt deal thing? Because if this is the first time and he messes up already, that's kind of sad.
You, Serenoa Wolfort, stand accused of aiding his plot, of sullying your own hands by transporting his ill-begotten wares.
I stand accused? On what grounds, Edor?
Minister Sorcesley, I would advise you to temper your words in the presence of the Holy One.
You would dare chastise me? For generations, the goddess has entrusted House End with her salt, the lifeblood of our nation. I have treated my duty only with the utmost respect. Just hearing these outrageous charges makes my stomach churn.
Really? Then I shudder to imagine your condition whilst you penned these ledgers, delivered to us by one of the soldiers from the Source.
I thought the numbers were quite odd, and when I compared them to the ledger at headquarters, I quickly understood why. Forgive me, Minister Sorsley. Staying silent would have meant my death.
Your death? How swiftly your underlings betray you under the slightest pressure.
Now, if you are very well finished, let us continue. Lord Serenoa, did you aid Sorsley in these crimes? Answer with the understanding that falsehoods will be treated as affronts to the goddess's mercy and punished accordingly.
I understand. It is true. We helped Sorsley peddle his salt.
I wonder if they'll be nicer since we're just honest about it.
Serenoa, you cur!
Oh shit. Don't do that to me, please.
On behalf of all Hyzant, I thank you for helping us excise this rot from our nation.
Excuse me?
Be that as it may, the fact remains you bear some responsibility in allowing that rot to fester. Such misdeeds must be answered for.
Yeah, that's more what I expected.
You should have come to us immediately upon finding out his true nature. You had ample opportunity.
Did we? I mean, we didn't really have exact proof. You wouldn't have believed us.
I admit the fault is ours, but it was not a judgment made lightly.
We had to act to protect our home and our people. It was the only way to prevent the loss of both.
Your plight has not fallen on deaf ears. However, a crime committed under duress is still a crime.
For that, I have no words. Only hope. Hope that you will find mercy for us. For my people, I beg of you, allow our house to enter the protection of the Holy One.
You love your subjects deeply, that is plain to see. Very well. I shall state your case to the Holy One on your behalf.
Isn't the Holy One supposed to be right there? I'm sure they can hear us.
Serenoa Wolfort, heed well the words of the Holy One. Your house safeguards the very heart of Nozelia, and the Wolfort name is known near and far for its fierceness in upholding its duty. The Holy One believes it would be a great loss if your home were to fall victim to Esfrost's ambition. The Saintly Seven has just recently bid farewell to one of its members. His position would be yours if you would take it.
Really?
My lord, this...
However, there is the matter of the Roselle that dwell within your borders.
Oh no.
The Holy One would see them returned to the flock where they belong.
Oh no. This is an ultimatum.
Their home is in the Source, our Holy Land. They are descendants of criminals and worse.
Sins of the Father?
Their lot is to offer themselves to the goddess so that the sins of their forebears may be cleansed. The Holy One would see all Roselle serve her in penitence, such is her will.
I disagree.
You would have us betray the Roselle under our protection?
Such mortal judgments are not her concern. The goddess has spoken.
Serenoa, will you surrender the Roselle to Hyzant?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't want to.
As you are doubtless aware, Lady Frederica, the vow of Lord Simon himself binds us to protect them. Alas, our house is not what it once was.
Is that a reason to cast aside its honor? My father, as well, likely had a hand in orchestrating their protection.
Ah, my friends, I apologize that we once again meet under dire circumstances. You face a difficult choice, one I do not envy. Have you decided?
Not yet. We will, you can be sure.
They've got us by the small ones, and they know it. They made this request full aware of our history.
Lest you misunderstand, allow me to illuminate your position.
You're gonna try to tell us to give them up, right?
You are not the noble hawks you think yourselves to be. You are vultures, feeding off the scraps of Sorceley's corpse.
Right.
You've got some nerve.
I speak from experience when I say that the title of Saint is not to be worn lightly. Are you prepared?
Prepared? For what?
Doubtless you are aching to break free of your fetters, to take wing and soar. To do that, blood must be spilled. The blood of enemy, friend, and self alike. Your freedom lies at the end of a trail of dead. If you are not prepared to make that journey, to endure that sacrifice, then cast aside your pretensions and grovel.
Grovel or bleed? Poor options, both.
In his time, Lord Simon protected the Roselle who fled Hyzant, and the village they established within the Wolffort domain. 30 years have passed since then. The Hierophant uses the illegal salt trade incident as leverage to demand those Roselle be sent to the source, where Hyzantian faith dictates they must reside. After being found guilty at the trial, Serenoa has no other choice but to acquiesce.
I don't think so. Surely this would be a conviction thing, right? I don't want to do it if I am given the option.
Thus, with House End ruined and a vacant position among the Saintly Seven to be filled, rumors of House Wolfort's ascendancy start sounding more credible than ever to the people of Hyzant.
Lord Serenoa, I believe it may be in our best interests to turn over the Roselle after all.
I don't want to.
But they fought so hard to escape Hyzant. They would never agree to return.
It would be a show of good faith to the Saintly Seven and secure House Wolfort's safety.
Well, obviously.
If the situation calls for force, well, we must be prepared, to borrow Minister Exham's words.
I see. Give me time to think over the matter. Where is Frederica?
Oh, she left for the source with Prince Roland. She said she wanted to see where the Roselle live for herself.
But okay.
Indeed, Hyzantian law requires all Roselle to make their home at the source.
She is most troubled over this, Lord Serenoa. Please, if you could...
I understand. I will make for the source at once.
Alright. There's probably no side story. There are. Okay. Which one? Let's do this one. And then we'll go to like the upper city.
Silvio Tellior, I presume?
Who might you be?
Someone who brings good tidings. An offer you may wish to consider.
I am ruined. Who would want to offer me anything?
It is Minister Edor's wish. Will you hear me out?
Oh no.
One of the Saintly Seven? Then you are Hyzantian.
My master is eager for your assistance, as you are quite close to House Wolfort.
That bodes well, definitely. Very concerning. What do they want?
Thalos, thank you for making the necessary arrangements.
No need to thank me. I am your Prime Minister, after all. I have made sure those with any power in Glenbrook understand their place. They will do as we command.
But I have power in Glenbrook.
Then everything is in place. It is time.
Is there nothing I might do to aid you, brother?
If there were, I would tell you. And the Consortium, Thalos?
Oh, I expect we shan't have any trouble from them. I have promised them a considerable sum to stay out of our way.
Good. Now it is just a waiting game. I wonder how long the Hyzantians will last.
Okay.
Please, I'd only like to glimpse the goddess's sacred grounds for myself. It won't take but a moment.
That may be, but outsiders are not permitted into the source for such frivolities. And you are Roselyn. You ought to understand the teachings better than anyone.
Frederica.
Serenoa, forgive my impulsive behavior.
There's nothing to forgive. I too wish to learn more of the Roselle and Hyzant. Not knowing would make my decision easier, but still I feel I must.
Serenoa? From House Wolfort?
The very same. Lord Serenoa Wolfort. The one who will assume control of the salt trade in short order, as House End once did. To that end, we are here today for a preliminary inspection of the grounds.
So the rumors were true.
Well, are you refusing the newest addition to the Saintly Seven entry into the source?
Of course not. Please, right this way.
Nice going, Roland.
All right, you Rosellan wretches, time for worship. Minister Edor of the Saintly Seven himself will be giving the sermon today. You should be thankful. Heed his word, and your sins shall be cleansed.
Roselle, do you know why you are imprisoned at the source, condemned to toil? It is because your ancestors committed the most heinous of sins. Long, long ago, they schemed to seize control of the salt that the goddess bequeathed to the people of Nozelia. They seized the source for themselves, wresting every last grain of salt from other peoples desperate for the resource. Using the salt they hoarded as a shield, they terrorized the land, destroying any who stood against them in their thirst for domination. Fanned by their greed, the flames of war long ravaged our land. Countless innocents lost their lives. What a terrible, arrogant people. Their cursed souls dwell within you, their progeny, to this very day. Indeed, the proof is in the very color of your hair. The same red as the blood that flowed from their countless victims.
I mean, it's more pink, really.
Our people sinned against the goddess. We are a detestable blight upon Nozelia.
Oh, goddess of salt, please, forgive us our sins. Forgive us.
Do not despair, for the goddess of salt is ever merciful and kind. She grants even the worst of sinners, even you, a chance to atone. That atonement will only come through hard work here at the source. By quenching this earth with your sweat, by giving your lives to this labor, your cursed souls will be cleansed and welcomed back to the goddess's side. Only then, when your sins have been washed away, can you hope to be reborn into a pure body and once again walk upon Nozelia.
I mean, this is all obviously bullshit, right?
People of the Roselle, surrender your lives to the source and give your thanks to the great goddess.
They just want a reason to have free labor.
O goddess of salt, for you I give myself, stained with sin as I am, to the source.
I wouldn't be surprised if that story he made up is made up.
Thank you for granting us the chance to atone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is enough. Now take that gratitude and turn it toward your work.
I cannot believe what I'm seeing.
This is atonement? And the Roselle accept it as a fitting punishment?
They don't really have a choice.
Even if that story Idor told is true, no sin warrants this kind of cruel retribution. Hyzant maintains control over Salt now. Are they then not guilty of the same crime?
That's a good question.
You are right. But this is as the goddess of salt commands, is it not?
Time to see for myself what goes on at the source. Alright. Okay, I don't think they're gonna be really wanting to talk to me. Lots of stuff, though. You need to only follow the goddess' teachings in order to be absolved. Let's talk to the people giving conviction things a bit later. More ellipses. This is the only work I've ever known. It's all I'm fit for now. Many years ago, some tried to flee this place. None would dare to dream of doing that now. But you see, they did flee. We know where they are. They are safe. Mostly. Ellipses. Can't do it. Can carry the salts. How can the holy state allow a man in this condition to continue working? More ellipses. There's an item over here, right? Yes. Hope they give us water today. They don't give you water every day? They just don't give you water sometimes? What the hell? Treatment of the Roselle here is utterly inhumane. Whoopsies. Understand they've yet to replace Minister Sorceley as overseer. So we limber on, a beast without a head, no one to issue orders should a crisis arise. It's hardly surprising he was one of the Saintly Seven. They'll not replace him so hastily. I'm sure that they might call upon the Warfort boy. Won't care if they pick my own mother, so long as the position's filled. So they don't install me as overseer of the source if I can find my way into the Saintly Seven. So they're weakened politically now, is what I'm hearing. This guy weighs nothing when compared to the weight of our sins. Okay. How about up here? Faster. There should be no rest for the wicked. Lord Cyrano of House Wolford, I presume. Sorry, I had to lay eyes on the tainted ones, but this is where the Roselle pay their penance. I do not like these people. There is no way I am giving them our Rosellans. Are there any more items around? There is. Okay, I think it's time to... I think I got all the items, so I think it's time to talk to these people. Ugh, green exclamation marks. They force young and old alike to toil in deplorable conditions and have the audacity to call it atonement. They do not even tend to those who collapse from exhaustion. They treat my people worse than criminals. It breaks my heart to behold such cruelty. I can scarcely imagine what it must be like to suffer through this. I'd love to see them free, but they are under constant watch. It would be nigh impossible. See how you feel. Let's look away. We have to use this opportunity to learn all we can. They do not think the Roselle human. It's the only way a nation arrives at such cruelty. I mean, yeah, that's pointless to say. Because, like, obviously, this is a bad thing. We don't want this to happen to them. And this is just a bit insensitive, so let's pick this one. This is the grisly secret beneath their claims that all are equal before the goddess. The lie upon which the holy state's built. It's a powerful state at that, much as I agree we cannot oppose them so easily. Alright, how about you? Tainted Roselle are fated to live out their days working in the source, in the hope that they may one day atone for their sins. They are nothing like the rest of us by the very nature of their birth. They are impure and lack integrity. Okay. Nature of one's birth does not enter into it. We are all born the same. You would imagine they would believe that, right? Considering they say that all the time. And you have the purity they lack. I see before me a man like any other. Celts has brought posterity to the holy state, while we're solely on the Roselle when everyone can aid in the harvest. That's fair. I wonder what they have to say to this, though. It's like, oh, we all born the same. You just directly contradict themselves. Could be for my lack of decorum, only an unbeliever would dare utter something so stupid. Okay. Of all the unbelievers, it's you, the Lord of House Wolfort, proudly proclaiming we are both equal from the seat that is his birthright. Then I trust we'll have no trouble explaining why the Holy One seems supposed to offer this unbeliever a seat among the Saintly Seven. Clearly it's not for me to know, none can truly know the goddess's ways. Very convenient excuse. Okay, I think I got everything. I talked to everyone. The only, like, party members that are here are Roland and Frederica. Like, half the Rosellans here had ellipses to say. So I think we're done. Should return to the encampment.
This is more awful than I imagined.
Will you still send any Roselle in the Wolfort domain here? Force them into a life like this?
The
fact that we're even considering it is a pity.
It isn't right. It isn't just. I don't care that it would ensure our own safety.
Indeed, it would be unforgivable. What is just is constantly in flux depending on the circumstances. That said, Protecting people is always the right thing to do. Wouldn't you agree, Serenoa?
I feel the same as you both, but...
My apologies. I didn't mean to place all the blame on you. Still, we continue stumbling on the path before us.
Serenoa and his retinue return to their domain, their every step weighed down by the heavy task Hyzant has placed upon them. Elsewhere, the newly restored kingdom of Glenbrook begins to take action under Queen Cordelia's leadership. The kingdom issues a joint proclamation with Esfrost against Hyzant, halting all trade and severing diplomatic ties with the Holy State.
Oh, that's a shame. Now it's gonna be like a three-way war. Because they really want you to go with Hyzant, because then you can 2v1 them. But we're not gonna do that. I am 111% defending the Rosellans.